Sound, Karma, Music, Podcast. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Welcome to Sound Karma Song Spotlight episode 30. I'm your host, Big Zach. This is all about showcasing new music, and we're spotlighting 4 songs this week. CHIARA Oldano is a musical prodigy whose voice is like a tornado. In a good way. We'll explain. Firewood Island create what we call a perfect house blend of talent. AUCOIN puts on live shows reminiscent of Pink Floyd. And NICOLAAS is a talented artist who literally threw away his identity to start over. Find out why. All right, let's get to it. CHIARA Oldano is an amazing pop singer-songwriter who brings a lot of different influences into her mix. First, in the history of all music, there have only been a small handful of people who could be considered a composer prodigy. Put CHIARA on that short list. She was writing songs when she was 14. Second, she's only 20 years old. There are mature, experienced, seasoned singers who don't have the power in their voice like she does. CHIARA Oldano is like a vocal tornado. Lots of force, power, passion, and intent behind every note that she sings. And it's easy to see why. Some of her musical influences are Celine Dion, Matt Corby, Etta James, and Freddie Mercury. But now is when things get really fascinating. You might think that with so much precision behind every note, she must have studied music in school, right? Nope. She did spend 15 years honing her craft as, get this, an opera, gospel, and soul singer. Now, each of those styles of music are riddled with earnest passion and purpose on their own. But you combine them all and you have a musical explosion. But we're not done. She also attended a summer program at Berklee College of Music in Boston. So you can see she takes her music seriously, and so do we. This track is from her debut EP. It is available for download now. This is CHIARA Oldano with Fluorescently.
Don't you wanna be a hero in your story? Don't you wanna live? Don't you wanna feel? Don't you wanna live? Don't you wanna feel? Don't you wanna live fluorescently? And what is your purpose in this world?
Firewood Island is a Norwegian multi-instrumentalist singer-songwriter duo. One half of the duo, Stein Vito, was urged to follow music as a passion from early in life. His mother was a pianist, his father was a guitarist. They both encouraged him to master both instruments. He did, but he took it even further on his own. He went on to study music production. From there, he began a solo career as Firewood Island. The other half of the duo, Abai Aliri, also comes from an artistic background. Her father was in visual arts, working as a photographer. Her grandfather was a musician who played the French horn professionally. Her artistic upbringing is what helped cultivate her urge to pursue music as a full-time career. She started writing songs at an early age. She learned how to play multiple instruments. She eventually joined Firewood Island, where she took over almost all the artwork for the pair. They've gone on to become well-respected in the music industry. They write and produce their own music, but they also act as a support team by helping other artists flourish, grow, and succeed. Their music can be described as a perfect house blend of organic instrumentation combined with dynamic yet sensitive vocal harmonies. This track is a bit of a lyrical simile to their lives, as they were when they wrote this song. They say, quote, "The weather was behaving really strangely, and our neighborhood ended up being the center of a storm. This ironically mirrored our personal lives in a stressful and chaotic season. Storm is about being able to accept and abide in the turbulent circumstances that you're in and not be consumed by them." This song just came out on March 15th, so it is available for download now. This is Firewood Island with Storm.
Wilder the storm, quicker it goes. You give in or learn to let go. The wilder the storm, the quicker it goes. You give in or learn to let go. Give in or let go. Give in.
AUCOIN is an amazing Canadian electronic musician who's played some of the most iconic venues around the world, like South by Southwest and Harvest Jazz Fest. We mentioned his live shows because he's built a reputation as an incredible live performer. His shows are legendary because of the intense high energy he puts out at his concerts. Much of his music syncs with old movies, kind of like Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon plays in sync with the movie The Wizard of Oz. He takes that same kind of combined sight and sound magic and takes it to the stage, which makes for a totally gripping performance from start to finish. His quest for music mastery infected him at quite a young age. From as far back as he can remember, he's been dedicated to learning as many instruments as he possibly could. But that's only part of the story. It's one thing to learn and master multiple instruments, which is super impressive all in itself. But Rich also taught himself production and home recording. His crusade to control the entire process of music making, from the writing to the recording and producing, has allowed him the freedom to create the music he wants to create. But Rich AUCOIN is much more than an ultra-talented musician. He has a super caring soul. He's cycled coast to coast twice for various causes like Childhood Cancer for Canada and the Canadian Mental Health Association Mental Health America. He's also run a series of marathons in support of the Canadian Heart and Stroke Foundation. Not only is he a good musician, but he's a great guy. As fans around the world support his music, he supports his fans and several kind, caring causes. This track is available for download now. This is Rich AUCOIN with The Dream. Finally, NICOLAAS is a Canadian electronic artist and producer. He has collaborated with tons of artists like Pete Rock, Sean Price, Buck Wild, Guilty Simpson, Rob Swift, and others. He's also been nominated for 4 Juno Awards along with a number of other nominations. When Rob Baker, aka NICOLAAS, was just starting out in music, he wanted nothing more than to dominate the world of hip-hop. So he adopted the stage name of Moonshine and went for it. And he did well, too, as a rapper and producer. His tracks were dominating the underground music scene in Canada. But after all the awards and accolades, he found himself creatively empty, unfulfilled, and lost. Here's how he describes it, quote, "Everything was mundane. The sounds I relied on went stale. My structures and content, nothing excited me. I needed something new, and I needed to wrap it in a shiny new package. My grays needed some neon." In other words, he didn't want to just go through the motions anymore. So he trashed the very remix piece he was working on and decided to start creating his own music. And that's what opened the door to a whole new world for him. It brought back the passion he had lost. He started pulling inspiration from genres he never thought of before, combining disco, house, and funk. Writing his own music brought back an energy that made him feel alive again. The revelation was so powerful, he dropped his stage name and created a whole new identity for himself, a fresh new start. He began using his middle name, NICOLAAS, which is basically how we get to where we are now. This is his latest track. It was just released March 19th, and it is available for download now. This is NICOLAAS with No Stranger Thing, featuring Lucy Mason, the Pages remix.
I know you now. You're letting go for cigarettes and other clothes, and you want my word. I know you. No stranger
So there you go. That's this week's Sound Karma Song Spotlight. You can find links for downloads below, depending on where you're listening to this, or on the podcast page at soundkarma.com. If you have any suggestions for artists or songs you'd like us to highlight as a featured video, blog, or in a podcast, let us know. Contact us through the website or email at info@soundkarma.com. It's karma with an H. Or DM us on Twitter, whatever you like. We think all music should be heard. Thanks for listening. I'm Big Zach. Over and out.